the landscaping's all done, and I've added materials to the garage building. So now I wanted to show you a few things that can make it look better. So first, go to Display, and then scroll down till you see Shadows. And you can turn Shadows on. And you can see that the shadows make things look a little bit more realistic, and you can see the depths of things. There's also a setting for fog. You can play with that if you want. Now I'm going to go to this one right here, which is your Styles box. There are some really interesting styles that can make your house look different. So I'm going to try just a few so I can show you. Or this one. That one's actually kind of ugly. So let's go to Default Styles. That one's a little weird. These down here, the Style Builder winners, are actually kind of interesting. That gives it kind of a sort of hand-drawn, sketchy look. So you can play with some of these styles and find some that are kind of cool. This one's kind of neat. It gives it a colored pencil kind of look to it. Go back to the default styles. So again, you can just play with some of these styles and see what you'd like to have it end up looking like. Now the last thing I wanted to show you, or next to last thing, is the views. Now you can save a particular view and go back to it. So if I want to save this view, I would just hit the plus sign and it's going to save this particular view. So if I move around in the scene, I can go back to this view again. Now I had already saved one, so all I have to do is click it, and it's going to take me to that view. And then I can click this one, and it will take me back to that view. Now there's one more thing I wanted to show you that you can do with the views that's kind of neat. But first I need to delete both of my views. So I'm going to select this one and trash it, and select this one. Oops. And delete it. You can actually use the views to create kind of a video. So I'm going to come around and change my view a little bit. Zoom out, maybe. And then I can add this scene. And I'm only going to do 3 different views on this just to make it kind of quicker. You can add as many as you want. And then I'll add that scene. And then I'll add one more scene. Pan over just a little bit. And add it. Okay, now I've got 3 scenes. And what you can do is hit this play button. And it makes a little animation. And it goes in between your scenes. Now this one's a little bit choppy because my 3 saved scenes were pretty far apart. But if you just rotate the view a little bit and save the scene, a little bit more, save the scene. And then you can also use the settings thing to change the transition time. So if I take the delay out in between, it will run a little bit more smoothly because it's not delaying in between. It's still kind of jumpy. If you have scenes that are closer together, then it will be much smoother when you play it. Now, the one thing I haven't figured out how to do is export this as a video. I'm not sure you can do that in this. But it is kind of cool to be able to see moving around in it, especially if you close that window and you can see the entire scene. And you can use that settings tool to slow it down, to change the speed of it. So I'll stop that animation. Okay, let me go back to scene 3. Let it refresh. Oh, it looks like my shadows didn't get turned back on, so let me go back to display and turn my shadows back on. And all of my landscaping is slowing everything down a lot. Okay, so my shadows are turned back on and my visual style is the way I want it. And so I can go to print and see how it sets it up on an 8.5 by 11, and it cuts it off on the 2 sides, so you may have to zoom out a little bit so that you can get everything in there. But what it does is it prints to a PDF, so it'll create a PDF file of an 8.5 by 11 with your view on it, and that's a little bit better quality than doing a print screen. And then you can just upload the PDF file and save it to your computer and upload it for a grade. Now, in reality, I would want to change the view a little bit so it's not cut off over here. I just wanted to show you how this one is done. Once it's done printing, it downloads the PDF file here, so it will be in your downloads folder. And that's it. You have a completed SketchUp house project.